often was NIL brought up by the recruits or family members?
Yeah, I mean, you address all those things. You talk about just like it's a holistic approach. We talk about our program, and that is a part of our program. But as far as like using it as like you come here, you get that ain't us. That ain't ever going to be us. I mean, you have people out there guaranteeing people this and that. How do you do that? First of all, it's against the rules. Secondly, how do you guarantee somebody something they ain't even done anything? Like, shouldn't you have to perform? So all I can tell you is this is Clemson. And, man, our kids, and the reason you got all these people coming is because, again, our focus is on the guys on the roster. And when your players on the roster, they're happy, they know they have opportunity, that resonates to the recruits. So that's your best recruiters are the guys on your team, best recruiters you got. It's also the worst recruiters you got.
But did you have a lot of recruits and families asking about that?
We address all of those things. Again, they ask about strength conditioning. They ask about nutrition. They ask about academic services. They ask about housing. They ask about, offense, defense. Just part of the conversation. It's no different. It's just another piece of the pie now.
I guess 2 years in a row, going back to Hunter Johnson last year, now Paul, quarterbacks are coming into a situation where they know they're probably not going to be a starter. I mean, what about the situation appealed to Paul, I guess? Why is he a person that was willing to come to that position?
Yeah, we're honest. We're transparent. I'm not looking for somebody. I'm not looking for him to. I wasn't looking for a guy to come in here and be the starter. We think we have that, but we needed a guy. You got Trent, who hasn't played. CV's just getting here. And we're going to let him compete. We'll see how it all plays out, and maybe it works out. Maybe Cade does what we think he can do, and maybe it works out where we could maybe play CV 4 games and hold him. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe CV wins the job. I don't know. But we needed an older guy who's been through a lot of game plans, a lot of practices, somebody who's got a level of maturity to him, a Hunter Johnson situation. That's what we needed. And honestly, we were going to wait till May. We were going to wait till May and let all this stuff settle out and sort out and spring ball and all that, and then we were going to go get a guy in May that, thought he might, because, that's the other sad part about this. There's a lot of kids that aren't going to have opportunity. They're going from a scholarship to no scholarship, or they're going, to a level they didn't anticipate. But we knew there would be somebody in May at that position that when it came down to it would want to come get, Clemson experience and to compete to, be a 2, if you will. And so we were very honest with Paul. And he had a lot of Group of 5 opportunities. He had one really good SEC opportunity to go compete to be the starter. But I think, for him, he values who we are here, and I think he's also a guy that wants to coach at some point. And I think he saw this as the best of both worlds for him, to be a great teammate, to be ready. To help these young guys grow and mature. He's seen a lot. He's been around some great players, and he's been around some great coaches, but also to, further lay a foundation for what he wants his future to look like. So, and for me, that's like, so that was our, we're just transparent, what we're looking for, and the rest is history. And, to me, I'm like, wow, it'd be pretty cool to be able to help Bear Bryant's great-grandson get into coaching one day, and help him develop, a little bit in that realm. So that'd be pretty cool. But we got some time before that comes. We need him to bring that veteran presence that Hunter brought for us. Really thankful we got Hunter Johnson right now. I'll tell you that. I'm really thankful we got him. And so that's kind of what we were looking for. And again, we were going to wait till May, but it just kind of happened. It came about. And Hamp Green actually reached out. One of our players, Hamp Green, actually reached out to me to let me know that Paul was in the portal, and that he would be interested in talking. So that's kind of how that came about. So called him and had a conversation and asked him what he's looking for and talked about what we're looking for, and he came up here and decided to come.
Kind of in regards to the portal, you could sign more than 25 this year. For the first time, they took the cap off. So you go, 28. And so a lot of people say, well, the only way you can build now is through the portal. But it's obvious. You think, no, I'd rather have Ronan Hannafin for 3 or 4 years. I'd rather have Tyler Brown for 3 or 4 years than some other guy for 1 or 2. Is that?
It depends on where you are. For some places, that's the only way you can build.
Sure.
Because maybe you're just getting that job. Maybe you're having to flip an entire roster. That's not us. I mean, we've been here. We've had 13 top 15 recruiting classes in a row, 12 10-plus win seasons in a row, 7 out of the last 8 years conference championships. I mean, we've been incredibly consistent, and it's not that, there could be a gap. As I've said, I mean, there could be a gap. Last year, we tried to get a couple of high-level OL. Both of them turned out pretty good. It's a very small pool. I don't care how many people in the portal. When what we're looking for, it's a very small pool, and so otherwise it's not right for us. I mean, it has to be the right fit, and again, you have to have the right need there. But you're not going to just bring a guy in just to bring a guy in. So we'll use it as needed when we need it. Again, if we get some time. But right now, I wanted to get Ronan. The guys that we signed, we wanted, and that's how we've always done it. And if we have a need somewhere along the way, and we reach out, sometimes there's interest. We've reached out to several people. We've reached out to kids this cycle. Some we've evaluated, not the right fit for us. Some we're not the right fit for them. Whatever, But it's a constant. It never stops. But as far as flipping our roster through the portal, that's just not where we are as a program. If I was somewhere else, and I was taking over a program, you probably wouldn't have a choice, because you might have a bunch of guys leave or whatever, and you got to be able to, get older quicker, and that's not where we are. We love our roster, and we love the developmental process of where we are, but again, from time to time, you might have a spot that you have to address, and just hasn't happened for us yet. It will. There's no doubt.
Talk about Peter Woods as a guy who can play tackle, he can play end. I mean, it's dependent on who comes back. Could you play him more at end just because he has that ability?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see once we get him here and start coaching him and all that, and then again settle out the roster. But I know this: he's going to find somewhere. I mean, he's a really good football player. He's dynamic. He'll be one of the strongest guys when he gets here. I mean, he's unbelievable. It's just a freaky guy. That whole group is. I mean, really. I mean, the whole group. AJ had to have a little shoulder surgery, so Hoffler, and he won't be here till the summer. But it's a good group of D linemen that we'll be able to utilize in a lot of different ways.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom? Anybody else in the room? Oh, go ahead, Anna.
This is Anna. Oh, sorry. Just real quick. Do you know what wide receiver position Noble will start at? And then will Harris I think he has some snapping ability. Will he play cross train at center and guard?
Yeah, Harris is a he's played tackle as you know, but he projects more as a center guard for us, and definitely will work both of those areas. And as far as Ronan, I mean, he's just a wide receiver, so I mean he can play any receiver position. We'll see what's best. I mean, most likely he'll start out at what we call the 2 and the 9. Same with Ronan, and we'll go from there. And then Tyler and Tink will probably play more our 2 and 5 position, but that doesn't mean they can't play the 9 as well. I mean, players are players, and until you start coaching them, it's really hard to evaluate what's their best spot within the scheme of what you're doing.
This is Larry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you have a feel guys are going to announce they're coming back?
Yeah, I got a feel. I'm not, could be anytime. Could be today. Could be after the bowl game. I'll just leave that up to them. But all I can tell you is this is a great signing class. So we got some portal guys. They're guys that are already here and they decided to stay. So they're in the I'm staying portal.
Anyone else for Coach?
Deb, are there any other positions that you think you might need to add experience through the portal or address through the portal?
Again, there's another big window in May. I mean, things can happen in January. Things can happen in the spring. Somebody could get hurt. Somebody could leave. I mean, there's always, things to evaluate, So, we're in a pretty good spot, where we are. There's probably a couple of spots that if it was the right thing, we would maybe consider that, but it's just a very small pool when it comes to filling our need. But, that could change, again, because your roster could change at any given moment in today's college football. It could change. And you have to be ready to respond to that. And that's a positive. I think that's a great thing that we, all of a sudden you lose kids in the spring, that there is a portal. Where else you going to get players, right? All of a sudden you got 10 guys pack up and leave for whatever reason. There's nowhere to get anybody. So I'm thankful that you at least have an opportunity to go supplement your roster somehow. And we just haven't had that. We didn't have anybody leave after spring last year. But who knows? May this year. You just can't. There's no. Used to I could kind of, I knew exactly, but now it's just a very fluid deal, and it changes all the time. But it's fun. It's fun, because I think, again, I think culture still matters, and I think relationships matter, and I think that's what wins long term, and that's who we are. It's the way we've always been, and that's why we're one of the most consistent programs in the country, and we will continue to be. I kind of look at things in decades now, right? As I said a couple weeks ago, we had the third best decade in college football history last decade, and we're off to a better start this decade than that one, with 2 out of 3 conference championships, 3 10-plus win seasons. And so, I think it's fun because there's new challenges, new dynamics, and you got to be able to navigate all those things. And, we're built for where we are right now in college football. And we got a lot of success ahead. We won 2 national championships last decade. We'll have more to come this decade.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Let's go. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.